For the baby booties, I used my 3.75mm crochet hook. You're also going to need a tapestry needle or darning needle, and I like the one with the pointed end on it. And this is about the size of the eye. And also a pair of scissors. The yarn that I chose is Baby Mine by Baby Bee, Pinkaboo. This one has 5 ounces, 463 yards. The color is actually Pinkaboo. It's a light pink colored yarn with a little shimmer to it. And the alternate yarn choice that I chose is, let me see if I find the color for it. It's actually Boo Pink. So it's actually a little darker pink. And I'm going to try to alternate colors with this one. So for the baby booties, I'm starting with my darker pink colored yarn, and I'm going to fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take my crochet hook, and I'm using my 3.75mm crochet hook. Go right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1 slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that knot down. Cinch the loop around your crochet hook, and then you're going to make a chain of 20. I'm just going to show you 4 of them on video tutorial. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 20, and then come back. Then you're going to make 3 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So count back 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to make 3 double crochet into that stitch. So you just yarn over, go into that stitch, bring up a loop, complete a double crochet. So there's 1, and we're going to make 2 more. Yarn over, go into the same stitch and make your double crochet, and then you're going to make 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. Then you're going to make a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. You just yarn over, go into the next stitch and make a double crochet, and then yarn over and make a double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to make a half double crochet into the next stitch. So you yarn over, go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then you're going to make a half double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then you're going to make a treble crochet into the next 6 stitches. So to make a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. You have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So that's your first one. Yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, complete a treble crochet for your second, treble into the third, treble into the fourth, treble into the fifth, and then you'll have 1 stitch remaining after this next one. So 1 more treble into the 6th, and then you have 1 stitch remaining. And then this is how your work looks so far. So now you're going to make 9 treble crochet into the last stitch. So you yarn over, go into that last stitch, and make 9 treble crochet into the same stitch. And as you're making your treble crochet, turn your work, and you're going to go behind the loose yarn end as you crochet, and you're going to turn your work as you make your treble crochet. So far I have 3, and then what we're going to do is after we have 9 in that last stitch, we're going to work on the opposite side to work in rounds. So go ahead, finish your 9 treble crochet into the last stitch. Then you're going to be working on the opposite side and burying the loose yarn end as you crochet. After you finish your 9 treble crochet into the last stitch, you're going to make a treble crochet into the next stitch and go behind the loose yarn end, and you're going to be making 1 treble crochet into the next 6 stitches, and you're burying your loose yarn end as you crochet. So go ahead, finish making 1 treble crochet into the next 6 stitches on the opposite side, and bury your loose yarn end as you crochet. Then this is how your work looks so far, and you're going to make a double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then a half double crochet into the next stitch, then a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, actually, sorry about that. So we made a half double crochet into this stitch, and now you're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, and then this is how your work is looking so far. Then you're going to make a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to make 3 double crochet into the same end stitch. Then you're going to slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made to complete the round. Then we're going to make single crochet rounds. So now this is what your work looks like so far. Now you're going to chain 1, then you're going to get your yarn marker, place it right where you left off, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for 5 rounds. And then when you get to the ends, I'm going to show you how to increase, because you want to keep the ends flat. So on the curved ends, you want to keep those flat. So I'm going to show you how to increase around the corner. So this is the first round, and you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to the curve. When you get to the curve, come back and I'll show you how to work the curved end. So now you can see that I've reached the end and I'm working around the curve. So around the curve, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And you're going to repeat that: 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet. Yep, mess that one up. And then 2 into the same stitch. I'm going to repeat that one more time: 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet. Then I'm going to continue. Actually, I want to make it one more time. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet, because I haven't made it completely around the curve. So now I've made it around the curve. So I'm going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch until I make it to the back curve. So now I'm at the back curve, and I'm going to repeat 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. And then 1 single crochet, and then that will bring me to my yarn marker. I'm going to pass the yarn marker and then continue 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. And then I'm going to repeat that one more time: 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. And then I'm going to continue for my second round of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then I'm going to make one more increase round, so when you reach the end we're going to curve around the end. So now I'm at the curve again. This is how my work is looking. So I'm going to make 1 single crochet into one stitch and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch, and I'm going to repeat that 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet until I reach the opposite side of the curve. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet, and then one more should take me around the curve. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. Then you just make 1 single crochet. Actually, I'm going to make one more, 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. And then that brings me to the opposite side, and I'm going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch until I reach the next curve. And then this will be our last increase round. Then I'm at the back end curve, so I'm going to make 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet, and then that brings me to my yarn marker. I'm going to leave it in place. This is our second round and it's an increase round. Then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. And then that will bring me around the back curve, and this is how my work looks so far. So now I'm just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for 3 rounds. So 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So you're not going to increase around the curves. Mine has 65 stitches in the round, and I'm going to finish my last round now of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So in my last round I ended in the back. This is how my work looks so far. So in the back of the heel you want to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And then just cinch that knot down. And you're going to need 2 of these. Before you make your second one, we're going to sew the little holes at the bottom of the sole. So then on the wrong side of the work, you're going to take your tapestry needle in the same colored yarn, and you're just going to sew the little holes closed at the bottom of the shoe. So one more stitch should do it for this side. I'm going to tie one more knot, and then I'm going to bury the loose yarn ends. And then you would just repeat this for the other side. And then just take and bury your loose yarn ends when you're finished. So just take your loose yarn ends and just weave it through the bottom of the work. And then you just take and trim it. So go ahead, sew the holes closed on the inside of the sole. So now you should have 2 made the exact same way. So now you want to turn your work so that the right side is facing you and the wrong side is on the inside. and we're going to join where we finished off on the back. And you want to take your next color, and I'm using my alternate color, the lighter pink, and you're going to take and join right where you finished off. So just bring up a loop with your new colored yarn, then just tie a knot, and then you're going to chain 3. And before we continue, first I'm going to show you the chain 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. This is our first double crochet for our first round with the new color. And before we continue, we're going to place our stitch markers. So now you're going to place your favorite stitch markers, and this stitch marker tin came from Pastiche Accessories on Etsy. She makes beautiful work. And I'm just going to grab a couple stitch markers. These are also made by Pastiche Accessories on Etsy. Then you want to place your stitch markers. So what I did was I found my center 2 stitches, and then you're going to count 8 stitches to the right and to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then place your stitch marker in the 8th stitch, and the same thing on the opposite side. Then you're going to continue from the back, and you're going to bury your loose yarn ends as you crochet. So just lay your loose yarn ends along the side of the sole, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, go behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, and make a double crochet. And you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch until you reach the first stitch marker, and then come back. So now I reached the stitch right before my first stitch marker, so I made a double crochet in that stitch. Go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together all the way around the curve of the front of the shoe to the opposite stitch marker. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops only. You have 2 loops remaining on the hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop. You have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops. You have 3 loops remaining, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 3 for a double crochet 2 stitches together. And again, you're going to repeat that all the way around to the other stitch marker. So just yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 3. So I'm just going to show you one more, and then I'll let you finish. So go ahead, finish your double crochet 2 stitches together until you reach your next stitch marker. So now I'm at my next stitch marker, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it. And then I'm going to make my last double crochet 2 stitches together. Then you can resume making 1 double crochet in every stitch until you reach your first chain 3 that you made in the round. Then when you reach the first chain 3 that you made, go ahead and make a slip stitch into the top stitch of the first chain 3 to join the round. Then you can go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then you're going to join your next colored yarn. But before we join the next colored yarn, we're going to go ahead and place our stitch markers again. So you want to find the center, and then you're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then place the stitch marker into that 8th stitch on both sides. So I have my stitch markers in place. Then I'm ready to join my new color. So I'm going to use my darker pink color. I'm going to join it right where I finished off. So I'm just going to tie a knot. Then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to bury my loose yarn ends as I crochet, and then you're just going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch until you reach your stitch marker, and then you're going to make your double crochet 2 stitches together, and then 1 double crochet into each of the remaining stitches all the way around back to where you started. Then you can slip stitch to finish the round and then come back. Then you're ready to start your last decrease round. You make it the exact same way. Find your center, count back 8 stitches on both sides, and then place your stitch markers. Then, after you slip stitch to join the round and chain 3, you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch around until you reach your stitch marker, and then you're going to double crochet 2 stitches together. So now, after you slip stitch to the top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made, go ahead and place your yarn marker, and you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to make a decrease round. So you're going to go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. Go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 3 for a single crochet 2 stitches together. Then you're going to go into the next stitch over, make a single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. And you're going to keep repeating that pattern all the way around for 1 round. Then when you reach the first chain 1 that you made, just make a slip stitch to join the round. And then this is what your work should look like. Then you're going to chain 3 and make 1 double crochet in every stitch around for 2 rounds. So you're going to slip stitch when you get back to the first chain 3, and then chain 3 and repeat for 2 rounds. Then when you finish the second round of 1 double crochet in every stitch around, go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And this is how my work looks so far. And at this point you can make 1 round of single crochet with your leftover light pink yarn. So I'm going to join my light pink yarn and make 1 round of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So I'm going to join my yarn where I finished off. Then you just chain 1. I'm going to bury my loose yarn ends as I crochet. So I'm going to make a single crochet into the next stitch, go behind the loose yarn ends, and then just make 1 single crochet in every stitch around with the light pink colored yarn. And then just slip stitch into that first stitch that you made when you get back around. So then when you're back around, just make a slip stitch into that first stitch that you made, and then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And then you have a nice little trim at the top of the bootie. So now you're going to go ahead and bury the loose yarn end. So you just get your tapestry needle, put it onto the loose yarn end, then you just take and weave it through the inside of the work. And I like to weave it through the same color, so I just kind of weave it through along the edge of the trim. And then you can go ahead and trim the loose yarn end. And now you have your little booties. So you just finished the other booty. Then you have your adorable booties. So these are about 3 to 6 months of age, have room to grow. And sometimes I like to add buttons to the front of mine, and just remember that buttons are a choking hazard, so you have to decide whether you want to sew your buttons on or not. So now you can take and sew your favorite buttons on. I have these 2 little pink kitty cats, and I like these because you have the little button loop on the back and you can fit your tapestry needle through to sew it on with yarn. So again, these are a choking hazard, so if you're worried about a choking hazard, you can just leave these off. You don't have to sew these on. So basically you just get your yarn on your tapestry needle, and then you can take and position the button where you want it, and I usually position it right above the stripe. Then you can take on the inside, just take and sew the button in place. Make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end for burying into your work. And then I like to go twice to make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm going to go one more time through the button loop. Make sure I'm going through the button loop. And then back out again. Then you just tie a knot and then bury your loose yarn ends. And I think this is a little bit more secure with the yarn rather than sewing needle and thread, but again is still considered a choking hazard, so you have to keep that in mind. And then you just take and bury your loose yarn ends. And then I like to go back a couple of times. Then you can take and just trim your loose yarn end. And this is what it looks like with the adorable little kitty cats on them.